Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Strawberry Loli's live streams. I paused before saying that intro because, well, maybe I'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, I was gonna get on and do this live today, come hell or high water, because I just got my hair cut yesterday. So it's kind of lost its shape already because it's been 2 days, and also it's been raining intermittently for the past 48 hours, and I've been doing a lot of errands outside and stuff. So every time I go outside, you guys know my hair gets really frizzy in the rain, so it's kind of lost its shape, but you can see that it is freshly cut and it has like a little nice bounce to it, which I feel like, I don't know what it is with my hair care. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I just need to buy a blow dryer because I threw my cheap one out a while ago actually. So I don't actually have a hair dryer at the moment. I don't own one, and I just let my hair air dry because I don't have like that much hair anyway, and it's not super long. And I always shower like well before I have to go outside so that my hair has enough time to air dry. But yeah, we're getting off tangent. The point is though, I feel like it's not just the new cut that makes everything look fresh. I always feel like my hair is just a lot bouncier after the salon. So it shows me that I'm probably doing something wrong with my hair care. Like, I don't know, maybe just the products that I use, it tends to weigh my hair down over time to the point where, um, like, after a month or so, I just feel like it's not as bouncy as before. But every time I go to the salon, that solves the problem pretty quickly because I always get like the deep cleansing, deep conditioning treatment and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, it was an ordeal, you guys, to get this haircut with my new full schedule. I started my new full-time job on the 9th, so Wednesday of last week. It's been exactly 1 week. It's been like, I can tell that the job is going to get really busy, as all jobs are. I mean, they always try to fit like 3 different jobs within one job these days because they're trying to get you to do the most work for the cheapest amount of pay that they can get away with paying you. But you know, so far so good. It's a lot better than my previous job, which I had to actually quit because my boss was a psychopath. But this time around, I'm relieved to say, I mean, knock on wood, it's still early, but as far as like my immediate team members and especially my immediate line manager, hi Josh, good to be here. Good to have you here. How can I support? You could send me a super chat, or you could click through my Amazon wish list because my birthday is coming up soon. So that would be really amazing if if people could send me like anything to support the channel. No pressure, of course, but that's how you can support me since you asked. Okay, well, we don't entertain broke guys on this channel, so I'm gonna have to block you. Bye. All right, so that's how you do it, ladies. No need to be nasty. But yeah, what was I saying? So I started my new job last week, and so far so good. As far as the position and the company, it's like, I don't know, prestigious. It's in the luxury goods sector. Obviously, I can't say the brand. Those of you in my membership might already know, but yeah. So actually, that part about me working for a luxury brand, even though my job is more related to IT, the fact that like I'm in the luxury retailing business, I don't know what to call it actually, but fast moving consumer goods, I think FMCG is the official term. But the fact that I work in such an environment, I noticed that like even just me going to the office to do my IT work, they put me on a bunch of projects for a lot of new like rollouts that they're doing soon, like shopping applications that they're going to make available for their customers, and they have different tiers and stuff that they want to roll out. So even that, which is not necessarily so related to the image side, of the label, just the fact, like, just by me being there. Hi, Silver Yayu. Oh my God. It's been a while. Oh my God. It's so nice to see you. I'm so happy. Like, you guys really don't know how much it warms my heart every time I come on here. Like, you know, as I move through different seasons of my life. And then once in a while, one of my OGs will pop up in the chat. And it just feels really good to know that you guys have always been like following me, or even if you don't watch every single upload, that you're checking in on me from time to time. Like, it really feels like, I feel like there needs to be a newer term for the idea of a parasocial relationship, because I think parasocial relationship, it's always painted in a negative light. Like, we use it to highlight kind of the negative aspects of this new I don't know, social media fandom that I guess subscribers are really prone to, especially when it comes to huge creators. But I feel like it does a disservice to a lot of the actual, like, genuine heartwarming connections that, especially me as a smaller creator, we tend to, like, we cannot find this type of connection really outside of the internet. Or, I mean, that's the whole point that we came to the internet in the first place, right? That's the whole point why we put ourselves out here, to see if we can connect with people that are like-minded and have the same interests. So I feel like we need a better term. I think like internet bestie is what I typically go for, or internet big sis, internet sister. Um, Congrats on your new job, and it's an upgrade from the previous one. Thank you so much. Smooth journey ahead. Yes, I'm happy to be able to catch your live. LOL, that broke guy got kicked in such a ruthless way. Oh my, OMG, I can't stop laughing. Yeah, I mean, are you also a broke guy though? Because your username is sus. I don't know many girls with the name goat in their username. So if you want to separate yourself, you can feel free to prove, or not to prove him wrong, but to you know. No, I'm not broke. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it takes a lot of energy and real work to run a channel. Believe me, you. So don't be shy about those super chats. Nah, I support you, right? But like, where is the monetary support though? Because that's the only support I see. But anyway, so to go on with my story, yeah. So you would think that like my job contents related to the IT projects would not land me in a keeping up with the Joneses or FOMO type of mentality, but lo and behold, I realized this after a couple of days there at the new job, actually. So it crept up on me, and that's what gave me the idea to do this live, is how to not just how to like stop feeling FOMO or stop keeping up with the Joneses, but before you even do that, you have to realize what ways are you maybe subconsciously keeping up with the Joneses, or which ways are you being like subliminally influenced by your environment to want to keep up with the Joneses without you even consciously knowing about it. Take an audit of that first and foremost. So I can do it after a few times. Give me some time. All right, well, I will believe it when I see it. So please don't spam the chat if you're not going to. I can't even. No, you guys caught me in a good mood. That's why. If I was in a bad mood, then I'd be blocking left and right. But please let me get on with my story. So yeah, I realized that I was falling into the trap of like basically subconsciously trying to keep up with the Jones. So I'll tell you what happened, right? So I work at this big like luxury fashion house, and as such, most of the people there, regardless of what department they're in, even the IT people, most of them are quite fashionable, and they tend to rock quite a lot of items from this brand, which is not necessarily, it's not surprising to me. Like, the same thing happened at the last luxury retailer that I worked at, but I could see it more so with this group of coworkers around me. Like, almost every single person, if not every single person there, always has on at least one accessory or one like one obvious item from this brand. Which again, it doesn't surprise me if they're like permanent employees of the brand. Of course, they're gonna rep their brand loyalty, and also it's a very coveted brand that is really popular with a lot of especially young women, or women of all ages, but men as well. And it's a very, very like noticeable. Everyone who sees the logo knows what this brand is. So yeah, I see it everywhere. every time I walk into the office, people have necklaces, bags. They even have the logo on a t-shirt. If they're dressed casually, they're wearing like a logo t-shirt from that brand. So then I automatically in my mind, and I didn't notice that I was doing this until 2 or 3 days later, but I automatically started turning my gears in my head too. Like, oh, maybe I need to start a little fund, or yeah, like I should start saving up to buy like my first item from this brand, right? And I don't know if I'm giving too much detail here because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking myself into a corner because inevitably, I mean, fingers crossed, if everything goes well at this job, I probably will end up buying at least one thing. I'll buy it very small. Probably it's going to be something really small. And like, because I've already gone through the process of what I'm about to tell you here in this live of how you can kind of like pull yourself out of that trance or out of that unconscious programming that's so easy for us to get sucked into to try and keep up with the Joneses. But initially, though, I was already starting to plan in my head because everywhere I turn, I see this logo slapped everywhere on people's shirts, on their shoes, in their jewelry, and their bags. So I was like, okay, that means like I should probably start a fund, right? I'm not going to be able to buy it in the first 3 months or probably even 6 months, but maybe by Christmas time, if I save away like a couple $100, $200 or $300 every month to this fund, I'll be able to buy myself a nice little item like a wallet or something, a small coin purse, or even, I don't know, makeup, whatever my heart desires, whatever fancy I'm feeling at the time. I should be able to buy that as kind of like an initiation present, right? Like a gift to myself that, okay, I made it to this stage of working at this fancy, shiny new job at this great company that a lot of people covet. But I kind of had the realization 2 or 3 days later that I was like, wait a minute. I mean, it's not that okay, so this is one of the brands that I've never really paid that much attention before. Like you guys know, when it comes to fashion, I'm more so into like Vivienne Westwood, even though that's not necessarily considered a luxury brand per se, even though the prices are up there, but it's definitely a lot more affordable than what you would think of if you think like YSL, Gucci, that type of luxury brand. Vivienne Westwood is more just kind of like high street punk, right? But yeah, that's the extent of like what I was used to when it came to dabbling in luxury purchases in the past. And then aside from that, I really just have one Gucci purse that my mom bought me several years ago for my birthday, which is still one of my favorite purses. It goes with anything. But yeah, like, you know, life is expensive these days. Inflation is no joke. So luxury purchases are not exactly my first priority, even though I do love brand brand name things. Um, but aside from moving in Westwood, even I would go towards more the I don't know if you would consider it YSL edgy, but personally, right? Like before I got hired at this company, I was considering if I had the means to get myself a nice little luxury treat in the future, I was leaning towards something from YSL more so than from this brand, this company that I'm employed at right now. But like I said, once I walked in those double doors on the first day and I saw everyone around me rocking all sorts of pieces from this brand from various different collections throughout the years. I'm quite certain some of the senior members that I met, they were wearing like legitimate vintage pieces from the brand. And it's really cool. And it's very, there's no problem with like admiring it or even aspiring to it. But the part where it becomes a slippery slope where you might be falling victim to FOMO or keeping up with the Joneses is if your you your desire for that thing is birthed out of influence from the outside, right? So that is what sorry, that is what I basically wanted to get at here is that if you find yourself wanting something like out of the blue, that happens. And this is not an I'm not advocating for like total minimalism or to not treat yourself to anything. But I'm just saying, taking whatever your financial situation is into account, taking the fact that life in general is expensive these days, taking into account the fact that 99% of people are not out here like living lavishly on yacht parties and getting married, renting out the entire city of Venice or whatever. You know, that's an allusion to Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's recent extravaganza wedding. But they're billionaires, right? The average person, even if they're doing very well for themselves, the average person is not a billionaire and they are not living it up like that on a daily basis. So if you're not someone who would like, if you were not just naturally inclined to want all of these expensive, shiny things, but all of a sudden you find yourself wanting them out of nowhere, I want you to really like stop, pause for a moment, and just take an audit of where did this thought come from? Like, where did this thought that I need the latest um, Chanel handbag, or I need the latest flower nose collection, right? For those, if your choice of if your poison is makeup rather than fashion and handbags and accessories, whatever your choice of poison is, like if it's something that you never naturally gravitated towards in the past, why are you all of a sudden going towards it now? Um, Once you take that audit, you will find, not in all cases, because your interests can change and evolve over time. Of course, you are a sovereign, dynamic human being, and so it's natural that we're gonna notice and want new things and develop our taste as we move through life. But if you start finding yourself like thirsting after just random trendy items more so than something that aligns with like your own personal personality and style, it's really helpful, I found, to just pause for a moment and ask, where did this desire come from? And more often than not, you will find that it's because of basically outside influence. So in my case, I was saving up for my first designer wallet from this brand that I work for that I never gave a second thought to really in the past. I don't own anything from this brand, I don't think. Not even a single item, not even a makeup item. But like, why all of a sudden now? Well, it's because I've been seeing all of my coworkers wearing that logo every time I go to work, 8+ hours a day, right? It's subconscious programming, at the end of the day. So it's not to say that like I need to fight against it and reject it and say that, okay, well, just because I never thought of this, I never thought of buying anything from this brand before, and now that I see all of my peers all of a sudden rocking this brand on a daily basis, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I'm not banning myself from ever wanting to buy something from this brand in the future. However, I really have to ask, I just want to like, I want all of us to stop and ask ourselves for a minute, like, put your own tastes and your own style, your own desires on a pedestal over what the majority lusts after. Do you understand what I mean? So like I said, it is very well a possibility that I'll buy something from this brand eventually in the future, but does it have to be like, do I have to be in a rush to do it? No, absolutely not. Do I feel like I'm less stylish because I'm not wearing anything from this brand while everyone around me does on a daily basis? Well, no, actually. But if I really think about it, if I dig a little deeper, maybe that's a part of where my initial, urge to start a little fund for my first oh my god, it's so hard to like not say the brand, but I'll just say X fund, right? Like from brand X. Yeah, I can be honest with myself that, okay, maybe I did have that little hint of like, oh my god, everyone here is like on a different level than me fashion wise. I've always considered myself a fashionista, and I've always prided myself on being able to mix high and low. Like I have no qualms about buying from Shein or from fast fashion brands. I try not to make it a habit to buy from the more generic brands like Uniqlo and stuff, only because I genuinely am not so moved by their designs. But for example, GU, which is a sister company to Uniqlo, I have to admit, I actually find a lot of their designs to be pretty cute and trendy, like even more so than Uniqlo. So I have no problem buying things from GU because it's like freaking affordable and cute, and I can mix and match with some of the more unique pieces that I already own, if you catch my joke. So I never had like any doubts about my fashion prowess before, right? But now all of a sudden, I'm in an environment where everyone is wearing at least something that is like $1,000 on their body at any given moment. So of course, it's natural that that's going to have an effect on my brain, even though like I'm still a very confident person. I'm not ashamed of, the level of everyday clothes that I'm able to wear or anything like that. I still know that I'm fly, and like people compliment me all the time too. Actually, it's funny because the girl that's training me, hi k1ll, sorry, I just want to acknowledge your little chat. Oh my God, you are live. Thanks for joining. But yeah, like the girl that was training me, she was like, oh my God, I love your nails, that's such a unique color. And then I was laughing because I was saying that this is I was trying to pick a color that mimicked one of the nail polish colors that was released by X fashion brand, which we both work for, right? So I was kind of having a joke with her about how it's not the actual like nail polish color, because these are gel nails that I get from my local salon, and that nail polish is obviously like just a regular classic nail polish, but it's from the X, luxury brand, right? So I was kind of joking that yeah, I didn't know if it would be in good taste to walk up in here with some counterfeit nails, but I couldn't help myself, right? And then she was like, no, of course, anything inspired by X is welcome here. So yeah, just even that little incident, like if I'm honest with myself, why did I even feel the need to make a joke about that? To kind of get ahead of like the embarrassment of, oh yeah, I actually don't own anything from this brand yet, but like don't worry, I'm in on the joke already. Anyway, what am I trying to say? So I caught myself, right? And I was honest with myself, and then I realized that you don't need to buy something from X to prove that you're worthy or that you belong here, all right? Because you already got hired. You already hit the ground running on all 5 projects that I've been assigned to. Can you imagine? They're not rolling out all at the same time, but like still, it was a lot to take in for the first week. But like I said, I'm really thankful that my manager and all my teammates are actually very, very helpful and collaborative and like not psychopaths, the bar is in hell. But yeah. So now we're going to get to the seemingly contradictory part of this video, where I basically show you a haul of the things that I bought, kind of as like a semi-celebration of me starting this new job. Not that this was planned or anything, but I allowed myself to indulge, my shopaholic side a little bit once I found out for sure that I was going to be getting this job. Like once I signed the contract, I was like, all right, now you can kind of get out of that survival mode thinking, and you can treat yourself a little bit. So this is literally what I buy. This is what I naturally gravitate towards, right? In contrast to, that X brand, which I started to kind of get carried away with and thinking that I needed to start a new fund where I put $200 or $300 towards that fund every month so that I can buy something from X brand as fast as possible, because like subconsciously maybe I wanted to prove that I fit in as quick as possible. Contrast that with the items, with the haul that I'm going to show you in this video, which are the actual natural items that I'm gravitating towards at this point, right? So I'm talking about a candle haul, basically. So I don't know what happened, you guys. I think it's because I'm about to turn 36 next month. My birthday's August 5th. So I think I've hit that inevitable like mid-30s candle obsession stage. I feel like it's not optional. So I lit one, and then that was just the gateway drug, and I was not able to stop. So I spent $100 on candles, basically, because free shipping. Hello. And then I also bought a notebook from the new Superman movie, which I just saw today, actually. And I loved it, you guys. I can do another video about my thoughts on the new Superman 2025 movie if anyone is interested, because I'm surprised that I loved it as much as I did. But yeah, so candles, notebooks, because I like to write a lot for everything, like to-do lists, inner work, just regular journaling. I like to keep a gratitude journal as well. I'm not good at keeping all of these things organized. So usually I'll just like I go one notebook at a time, or one journal at a time, if you want to call it that, and I will just write down like whatever I'm working on at the moment. So if I'm trying to, you know, if I'm trying to nurture some new beliefs about myself, I'll write affirmations down. If I'm trying to work through some sort of like childhood wound or trauma, I will write about that. If I'm trying to lift a limiting belief about how much money I can make, I'll write about that. It's just like whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I'll put down in whatever journal I happen to be using at the time. And so because of that, like, I don't place limits on myself when it comes to buying new notebooks or journals for myself, right? So that means I can have fun with it. Like every time there's a new movie or something, usually they'll come out with notebooks and other types of stationery. I have a rule that I don't limit myself. Like, I'm not going to tell myself, no, you can't buy anything because you should save money, etc. But my rule for myself is that I have to use whatever item I buy. So I can buy the slightly overpriced, like branded, Superman journal. This is the Daily Planet, which is the news reporting agency. I don't know what it's called, that Clark Kent works at, right? Clark and Lois and Jimmy. So yeah, I can buy the branded stuff, or I can go out of my way and buy makeup, for example, that has pretty packaging, but I have to use it. So I can't buy things just because they're pretty, only to leave them on my shelf to collect dust afterwards, which is why I don't buy things like figurines. But yeah, so I got a new notebook, and I'm working on the Snow White one right now. So that one I can already anticipate is going to be gone in a few weeks, probably by the end of July. Here, let me grab it. I hope I didn't flash anyone, because I'm not sure if my dress is see-through. That would be so annoying if I had to edit that out later. But yeah, this is the one that I got from the recent live action Snow White movie. You can see it kind of looks like, what's her name? Rachel Zegler. But this one is like halfway done. Actually, there's still a fair amount left, but I want to have a new one ready by the time I finish this, because I don't want to have to scramble for a new notebook. See, like, I'm particular about the notebooks that I write in, okay? I don't want to write in just any old Daiso 100 yen boring black notebook. I'll save that for work. But even for work, though, I would prefer, I mean, it's not like I can't afford a slightly nicer notebook, So I feel like if it keeps my vibration higher, then yeah, it's worth the extra couple dollars. But anyway, so that's one thing that I buy. And then as of late, case in point, I've been obsessed with burning candles. And I'm going to show you the so-called gourmet candles that I bought in a second. But another thing I discovered that is going to save my wallet in the future is that Daiso actually has a really nice selection of candles. This being one of them. You see, it's burned down quite a lot now, but it used to be this tall. I think they're called, oh my God, there's a name for them. Taper candles? Something like that. But it goes in like a spiral. And yeah, this one is from Daiso. And this glass cup thing, this used to be another candle that was also from Daiso. So these are 100 yen each. And then after I finish like the one in the glass, I just use the glass as a container for these longer tapered candles. And then like once the candle has burned down all the way to the bottom and it's just a pool of melted wax, I'll take the next candle and stick it in there. So kind of ghetto, but I don't care because it brings me joy and it brings me relaxation. So you might be wondering why I have this random item next to the candle. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to do some spell work because I'm entering my witchy Ashira star goddess era. You don't need to know details about that, okay? Stop trying to get all in my business. But yeah, so let me show you my gourmet candles. This was my little splurge. This was like the real, luxury splurge that I naturally gravitated towards doing when I started my job. So this I would not consider as keeping up with the Joneses, right? Is it the most economically sound choice? No. I mean, obviously, if you have like any unnecessary anything that is, what's the word? Aside from like necessities, anything else is considered an unnecessary expense, right? But remember, the point of this video is not to tell people that you can't have nice things at all, period. It's just to help you distinguish between which nice things do your soul actually gravitate towards, and which nice things do you only think you want because somebody else or someone from the outside put it there in your brain, right? So labubus, for example. But the thing about labubus actually is that I don't mind a labubu. I'll be honest. Would I go out of my way to buy one? No. See, because that's the thing. That's the part where some people get tripped up, including myself. Because if I think about like the lengths that I would have to go to obtain an actual labubu, is that even worth it? I mean, it's true that I was only, I was first introduced to labubus through social media, obviously, and then at first I'm having the same reaction as everyone else that, okay, what is the big deal? Like, why is everyone going crazy over these? But then slowly but surely they started to grow on me, and I actually think they're quite cute. And I think also um one of the reasons that endeared them to me even more is the fact that everyone started to really go in on bashing them, which just makes me feel like I want to get one to spite those people, because I feel like this happens with every single new trend or new philosophy, like new trend, new way of thinking that shakes things up or challenges the status quo. So this goes for even sprinkle content, right? Even though we're witnessing the second, third, fourth iteration of sprinkle content online, which is not necessarily a good thing. It kind of gets away from the original message of what the original mother Shira 7 was teaching us all along. But sprinkle content, when it first came on the scene, there was so much pushback, right? Like people vilified Shira 7 and started calling all women who just had basic standards for themselves gold diggers and things like that. So anything that draws a visceral reaction from a large segment of the population, that they're doing something right, or at least even if you don't agree with it, they're winning out here, and that's why people are mad, right? Or else if they were not winning, if they were not making waves, then why would they even be motivated to talk about it or notice it, right? It's only because labubus, like I don't know what the parent company or the designer's name is, but I heard that it's valuated at billions of dollars at this point, the labubu brand. So yeah, of course people are going to be mad, and they're going to do whatever they can to tear down the idea and say that it's just a bunch of stupid troll doll knockoffs. But it doesn't matter how much you hoot and holler and scream, Labubu founders and stock shareholders are still out here winning, and they're getting that money. So anyway, we're getting way off topic, but yeah, I'm trying to say that like it's fine to be influenced, right, from the outside or from your peers. I mean, unless you live in a vacuum, it's impossible not to be. But be careful with what influences you actually decide to let past your fence in the end. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that you vet things properly before you decide to adopt them into your world, because unfortunately, since we all live under capitalism, pretty much anything that you take an interest in, like new hobbies or new interests, even if you're interested in learning about a new area of study, at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to more bills for you more often than not, because that's just, it costs money to do anything under capitalism. Even things that are granted to us as, you would think they would be considered our natural sovereign rights gifted to us by nature, like the right to drink fresh water and eat food, eat to sustain ourselves, get enough sleep, but we can't do any of that under capitalism unless we work for money to pay for that, right? Isn't it crazy, the world that we live in? So the same thing goes for whatever interest you pick up, I think. I mean, unless your interest is literally just like going outside and sitting under a tree and napping, which is valid, you know, who am I to say that that's not a valid hobby? But again, if you think about it, there's still an opportunity cost even to that, because all the time that you're spending lazing about under a tree, that's time that you're not spending making money. You know what I mean? So you're losing the money that you could have made with the time that you spend under the tree. So there's no way out of it. I mean, just find a way to thrive, okay, under this imperfect system that we live in. So without further ado, sorry, I'll put a timestamp for sure for the people watching the playback if you want to just get to the candles. But this is from Tim Tam Candle Company. I forget the name each time. Tim Tam Candle. It's a handmade candle company here in Japan that I have absolutely no affiliation with. I just happened to walk by their pop-up store one day at my local department store, and I fell in love. So I just want to show you, like I unwrapped most of the other candles, but I just want to show you the level of wrapping that they put into each candle. I really appreciate, you know, the care. Not only did they wrap the outside, but they also wrap the actual candle on the inside so it doesn't jostle around in the container during shipment. So I think this one, I have the details of the candles pulled up so that I can talk about. It's a new era, you guys. But yeah, I want to talk about the actual scents and everything. So this is the blue cube candle. And this is a lavender scent. And I really like this royal blue color. Okay. I'm not crazy about this scent. Maybe it'll smell better when I burn it. But isn't that pretty? It looks like some sort of marble, or what's that? Oh my God, what's that material that they use in, I don't know if it's churches. It's like a mosaic glass effect. I don't like the smell though. Oh my God, it smells like soap. But from my experience, these candles, because I've had I burned 2 of them already that I bought from the pop-up store when I visited them in person. The scents were not overbearing or too strong, which makes sense because in Japan, I feel like Japanese people are very sensitive to scents. Like they're not a huge fan of it, which is why candles are not even a huge thing here. Also probably because, you know, the country is prone to earthquakes, that the safety factor might also be a reason. But the boo-boo is the new evil eye. I don't know about that. I just thought that, like, I've seen a few people with them on their bags during my commute to and from work, and I gotta admit, some of them do look pretty cute. It depends on the design, though. So this one is, why does this smell weird to me? Is it the smell of the box? It just smells like musty. But okay, I can smell the grapefruit scent. This is called the Sky Cube Candle, and it has a grapefruit scent. And then everything else I already unwrapped. Okay, so this one is a heart, but you can see it has like these little, I don't know how to describe it, like a diamond cut almost. It's like a heart that you would find in Minecraft, essentially. And this has an African rain scent, which is like very spicy, almost cinnamon-like. This one doesn't smell musty. This one actually smells really nice, but I will save this for... I can't save it for Valentine's Day because that's like way too far away. Maybe I'll save it for my birthday, August 5th. But no, I have a perfect one for my birthday, actually. This one. Aren't these like the quintessential Leo colors? Maybe I'll burn them all on my birthday because who says I can't burn all my candles at the same time if I want to? Yeah, that's right. We're not going to be demure over here. Moving into this Mercury retrograde and Leo season. Oh my god. There is no room for demurity. I don't know if that's even a word, but oh, it's so pretty. So I thought it was like orange and yellow, but it's actually orange and pink. And it's a rose. I got 2 roses. So this one, hold on, I'm trying to find the scent. Oh my goodness. Did they send me an extra one? Oh my god, wait. This was not in my original order. I only ordered 1 rose. I think they sent me this as an extra gift. Aw, that's so sweet of them. Because this is the one that I ordered. I'm looking at my receipt right now. I don't see a Leo candle. I think it was meant to be. So this one, the red one, is peony scented. I'm not sure what this one is. But they both smell really nice. And you can't go wrong with a classic rose design. And still not done. Here, let me get the last one in this freaking cupcake container. I think it's cute, but they could do a better container. In my opinion, they could do a lot better. This one has dried flowers in it, and I like, again, this oceanic blue. I have quite a few blue candles today. This one is flower cube candle, sweet pea. Ah, yes, I remember. I was intrigued by the sweet pea scent because I don't think I smelled sweet pea for a long time. Ooh, so nostalgic. I remember there was a sweet pea scent from Victoria's Secret back in the day that everyone was obsessed with when I was in high school. I think it was literally called sweet pea. It was their body spray. Do they still make those at Victoria's Secret? I mean, not that they're my favorite company to support or anything, but if they still sell that scent, I might have to go back for one. This is a Carousel candle. Actually, I'm going to open this one because I have no plans on gifting this to anybody else. These are my candles, okay, for my own use. I only have 1 candle that I ended up deciding to put in a gift basket for someone. That was the cat-shaped candle that I got last time from their kiosk, but this is a Carousel candle. Look at the intricate detailing of the horses. This reminds me of Flower Nose. It's like Flower Nose, but in candle form. And it smells like red currant. I like that. Has a little more punch to it. So this one, like so far, I think red currant and African rain are really up my alley when it comes to preferred scents. I had higher hopes for the grapefruit scented one, but that one was a little bit questionable. I'm sure it'll all be fine though once it's what's the word? Once I burn them. And this one. So then I also got a swan heart. I love the gradient ones. This low-key makes me want to learn how to make candles. Which at first, when that thought first entered my mind, I was like, what are you talking about? Are we like 80 years old here? But then I caught myself again. I was like, wait a minute. Why are you judging yourself for naturally picking up a new interest or hobby? Like candles, I find them to be very relaxing. So let me explain to you kind of why I started to get obsessed with candles. I think because like when I started this new job last week, I mean, obviously, knock on wood again, it's been going really well and everyone's been like super kind and helpful to me, but I I'm going to be honest. I kind of like came home and cried my eyes out every day last week, every day that I went to work. So I started on Wednesday, right? Thankfully, I only worked 3 days on my first week, but like I came home and I cried for a good 15 minutes before I fell asleep every night last week. And I think it's just, the shake up in routine, like along with a couple of other things that are going on in my personal life. Like things are not great with my family and everything. Ever since my dad died, it's just been a shit show, honestly. But yeah, so just life catching up with me. And I'm taking everything in stride, but I think it's just the culmination of everything and just the stress of the past 7 months of job searching and even the circumstances that led to me having to look for a new job so soon in the first place. All of that anxiety and bad energy and stress over the past really year, like a full year since this whole fiasco started. If you really want to start at the beginning of my last job where I had the psychopath boss, that was in April. So it's basically been like 1 year almost. And it's like I finally get to unload all these bricks off my shoulders. But then at the same time, I'm like, somewhere inside me, even though I know that obviously I'm qualified for the job and it's not something that requires rocket science to do, but the anticipation of, I guess, like the busyness ramping up soon, or the girl that's training me, she's gonna be leaving to work at one of the stores at the end of the month. So we only have until the end of July um, for me to work together with her in the office, and so yeah, like I know I don't have anything to be worried about at the end of the day. This is not my first rodeo at all. Um, when it comes to changing jobs and whatnot, but it's nerve wracking, right? Because I want to make sure that I do a good job and that this opportunity does not go to shit like the last one did. Even though I know that the last one was not my fault whatsoever, but it's my livelihood, right? Like we all need to make sure that our main source of income is protected. So I guess it's just that unconscious pressure that was catching up with me. And yeah, I came home and even though everything went really well and everyone was singing my praises, it was just a lot to deal with after 7 months of like living a hermit lifestyle at home and half-heartedly applying to one job a week. That's all I could muster up the energy to do. They always say that when you're unemployed, you should treat finding a job like your full-time job, but I just couldn't bring myself to do that. That's not my style, and I don't believe that that's what works anyway. That would have like tired me out to the point of complete energy depletion. That would have been no help to me. So I knew within myself that one application a week was plenty um, in order to keep my chances up to get a good job. But anyway, this video is not about my new job. My point is that I was really stressed, but I found that I found so much comfort in lighting a candle and letting it burn all the way down until the flame extinguished naturally by itself. So obviously I make sure that I have the candle within eyesight and I'm always at home whenever I do this. But the other thing good about this job is that it is a hybrid style. So, I mean, technically, I think for the first month, I'm going to be expected to go into the office more often than not just because they want to be hands-on with training me. But this first week, my manager and the girl that's training me, they had to go to a business trip somewhere to train people in some of the other stores in like Osaka or somewhere. So the days that they're gone, I get to work at home essentially. So I've been working from home. I think I've been going in like in the afternoon a couple days last week because my boss was not coming into the office until the afternoon. So she told me that I could work from home in the morning and then come into the office later if I wanted to avoid the morning rush. And then this week, they went on that business trip. So I stayed behind in Tokyo, which meant that, I mean, if they weren't going to the office, then there's no reason for me to go, right? Because they are the immediate people that I work with. So I was able to work from home 2 days in a row, Tuesday and Wednesday, which is today. Well, technically now it's Thursday morning because it's almost 1 a.m. But yeah, I was able to work 2 days from home this week, which is really, really good for me because I am not a fan of the commute. And it's just like physically very taxing because I also have to carry my laptop back and forth. So, and again, it's like such a sharp contrast from how I've been living for the past 7 months unemployed this year. So I found that the act of burning a candle, having a candle burning at all times, is just so calming. It's almost like, the Pomodoro effect. So I don't know if I can explain this correctly, but they say that most people's attention spans most people can only focus on something seriously for 25 minutes or 30-minute stretches at a time, or that's when your mind is like most efficient, right? It's kind of like, yeah, doing a sprint of work for 30 minutes and then taking a little 5-minute rest or something and then picking up again for another 30-minute sprint of work is shown scientifically to be a lot more effective than just like forcing yourself to work 8 hours through without any break. Which I don't think anyone, like, I think most people don't literally work for 8 hours straight. But anyway, I don't necessarily believe that it's true for all cases, right? Because if you're doing something that you absolutely love and it's something that you get immersed in and makes you lose track of time, then I don't think the 30-minute rule applies. Like, for example, making content, making videos for YouTube, that's like such a passion for me. Even the parts of it that I don't like, editing things and adding captions and stuff, when I get started on a video that I'm proud of or I like the way that I conveyed the message that I set out to say in that certain video. Typically, like after I get over the hump of, okay, I don't feel like editing, I don't feel like doing the tedious after production work. Typically, if I get started after the first minute, I'll pick up momentum and then I can literally do it for hours on end, like 4 or 5 hours straight without taking a break because it's what I love. So it doesn't feel like work to me. However, this job, my day job, it does feel like work to me, unfortunately. Even though I will say it's not that bad, but again, it's an adjustment from like being able to pretty much lollygag for 90% of the day for the past 7 months on unemployment. So, yeah, in the Pomodoro technique, the classic suggestion or example that they use is that you can buy a little kitchen timer and set it to 25 or 30 minutes, or you can use the timer on your phone, right? So you can set the alarm to go off after 30 minutes, which will be the signal for you to kind of like look up from your work and take a rest or walk around a bit to break up your to make sure that you're like taking a rest and moving around. But that never really worked well for me. Like, I don't enjoy the sound of a cell phone alarm because all I think about is, I mean, that's the thing that forces me to have to get up in the morning at an ungodly hour to get ready to get on the train to commute to the office. So yeah, it's not a pleasant connotation to me. It's not like unpleasant per se, but it's just more of an annoyance. It sounds like a fly buzzing to me, right? Whenever I set something that sounds like an alarm. But I found that if I light a candle, it automatically calms me down, and it kind of has that effect on me where it allows me to get into the mind space of, okay, as long as this candle is burning. Now, obviously, like when you burn candles, especially when they're huge like this, very huge and dense, or even Daiso candles, I'm surprised at the lifespan of Daiso candles. Like each one that I burned so far has lasted at least 20 hours, 22 hours. So obviously I'm not sitting in one place doing the same thing for 22 hours. No, but as long as the candle is burning though, I feel like it grounds me somehow. Like it's just, there's this sense of peace that washes over me that, okay, as long as this candle is burning, it's gonna anchor me psychologically speaking, like mentally speaking, so that I can concentrate basically and get whatever work I need done, whether it's my actual tasks for work or whether I have a to-do list of things that I need to buy, whether I have to go out and get lunch at a certain time or go grab some dinner at a certain time, like all of that. I feel like the burning candle, I don't know how to describe it other than it feels like an anchor that I can hold on to. Like I can attach um my intentions to the candle, that as long as it's burning, I'm going to get stuff done, right? And then once it's burned down all the way and the flame extinguishes by itself, that part, that's just very satisfactory to me. And oftentimes I don't even notice, like I'm not looking at the candle directly when it happens. I'll just notice a minute or two maybe after the flame has completely burned out. And it's just like this very quiet, peaceful way of letting me know that, okay, it's like a reassurance that, hey, you did good today. Like throughout the span of this candle burning, you were able to complete task A, B, C, and D, and you even did some grocery shopping. You even went out and picked up some new rolls of toilet paper so that you won't run out next week unexpectedly when you need it the most. I don't know. That's the headspace that candles put me in. So that's why I feel so drawn to them right now. And this is, again, I found for myself the right type of purchase that aligns with like the person that I am right now, or the things that I need, the physical items that I actually need or that actually bring me a net positive in my life right now, more so than, a $5,000 wallet from such and such a luxury brand just to show that I can fit in with my colleagues who have been working at that company for probably 5 or 10 years, to the point where of course they can afford those things more so than me at this point, right? But is that what I need though for my soul right now? I think not. I clearly need candles. I need cute notebooks so that I'm motivated and I feel good. I feel high vibe when I'm doing my journaling and whatnot. Sorry, let me show you my last candle. So this one, is this vanilla? I don't think I bought any vanilla candles because I don't like the smell of vanilla. Oh, this is chai tea scented. I'm not sure that smells like chai tea to me. It's very cute. I feel like chai tea needs to be, again, spicier, a little more pungent, but it's a Japanese brand, so I'm not surprised they kept everything very light, very demure. And last but not least, I already showed you guys last time, but I didn't unwrap it because I was on the fence about whether or not I wanted to give this to somebody as a present. Even if I did later, I could just rewrap it. But I have decided that I'm using all these candles for myself because I deserve it. So this one is a watermelon slice, which is very apt for summer. it's got to be smell like it's got to be a watermelon scent, right? They wouldn't make a watermelon candle and make it a different random scent, but it doesn't smell like watermelon to me, I gotta say. Anyway, I bought a hair clip too from Can-Do, which is another 100 yen shop, so that I can match my candle. But okay, I'm tempted to light this right now, but so far I've not yet been able to bring myself to light more than one candle because I still have that feeling of, oh my god, I'm burning money. But maybe like after a while I will start to get more reckless with it. But no, I mean, I don't want to have like 10 candles burning at the same time and then something goes haywire, because I do live in quite a modest sized apartment, so definitely want to err on the safe side here. We are being safe, okay, with our new hobbies, even if they do involve actual fire, like playing with fire, literally. But yeah, I wanted to show you also, after my little $100 splurge on these candles, I don't regret anything. These were worth every penny. However, this is definitely not sustainable for me to be spending $100 on candles every month. So luckily for me, Daiso Japan to the rescue. So I have a bunch of candles that I picked up from Daiso. These are all 100 yen each, which I think is a really good deal. Although, I don't know, like, I'm new to candles. I'm not sure how they're supposed to be priced. So let me know if you think 100 yen for a candle is cheap. I think it's really cheap. But I mean, I think that making candles has got to be cheaper, right? It has to be like a very, very high margin of profit for so many people to venture into the candle business. It's kind of similar to cosmetics, right? Like the cost of making it is the cost of making it compared to what you can charge for cosmetics is like pennies to the dollar. I'm aware of that. But okay, so this is a green tea. Oh my freaking god. This is not a candle. You guys, what the actual F? This is an aroma gel. I have no idea what the hell that is, but this is not a candle, and I'm so annoyed now because I thought this was a candle, and I even was gonna pass up on it originally because I didn't think that the jar was cute enough. But I thought that, like, since it's bigger than this one, right? This is the one with the shot glass holder. It's the same one that I burned before this black candle. And I'm just using the cup right now as a holder. But yeah, I was going to buy 2 of these, but then I saw this one and I thought, well, maybe since there's more wax here, it's going to burn for longer. So I decided to purchase it, even though it looks uglier, because I thought I was going to get a longer burn out of this. But it turns out it's not a candle at all. It's an aroma gel. And it claims to smell like green tea, but I've never smelled any matcha or green tea like this. It smells like Play-Doh. What is an aroma gel? I am confusion right now. Like, are you supposed to is it an air freshener? Do you leave it out in the open? Anyway, this doesn't smell good, so that was a dud. But okay, anyway, ignore. So this candle, this is a wooden wick candle in white savan. And I am actually so impressed with the scent. It smells really, really nice. Like shampoo or something. Smells like a fancy bathroom. 100 yen. Not bad. Not too shabby at all. And then I got more tapered candles. I think that's the name, right? Like, I really hope that I'm not saying it wrong. Yeah. See? Long tapered candle. Brown. I got brown because I couldn't find any black ones. But I heard you can do some spells with black candles. So I got the next closest thing, which is brown. So I got this super long one, and then this medium-sized one, and then this one with the spirals, which is what I'm burning right now. And I'm not going to tell you about what spell I'm attempting because you don't need to know all of that. And then I have the white version also of the twisted candle. And these are scentless. but like they're truly scentless. They don't smell like plastic or anything weird. And I can tell too, because like sometimes like when I walk out, when I walk away from the area that I'm burning the candle and then I walk back, I'll be able to smell it if it's supposed to be a specific scent. But if it doesn't smell like anything and I walk back, then I don't notice anything. So I don't know if that makes sense. This live, I don't know if this is like interesting for you guys, but I'm sorry. I just have to be authentic. Okay. This is what I'm obsessed with at the moment. And then I got a bunch of these tea candles because they're pink, and this is like 6 for 100 yen. So I was like, wow, that's the real bargain. But these, I feel like you have to be careful, right? Because I don't know, I think they can just burn out faster, and the containers are a little more flimsy. So I might be extra and put them in a larger plate, and then put that plate on top of some water or something, or like a wet towel. I don't know. I think you can never exercise enough caution when it comes to actual fire. But yeah, that is my candle haul. And then I showed you my little Superman haul, right? I only bought this notebook, even though I was tempted to get some of the other merch, but there truly was nothing else that I felt I could use. They just had the usual fare, like clear files and pens, keychains. Like nobody uses keychains anymore, okay? Even if we do, you only need one keychain, right? To hold your keys at any given time. I don't like that would be a disaster if I tried to switch out my keychains every week. Who has time for that? So I stopped buying keychains, as cute as they are. Um, yeah. What else did they have? They had a t-shirt, which like every time I give into the urge to buy graphic t-shirts, I always end up recycling them a couple months later down the line because I'm just not into the t-shirt look. I don't know. Like if I had a choice, I would much rather wear something cute and fitted over a t-shirt, right? Some people can really pull it off, or obviously like, there's ways to style a t-shirt with like a tighter, more form-fitting skirt or bottoms, but I don't have time for all that. I would rather just throw on a dress and go, especially now that I'm working and I have even less time. So yeah. Oh, speaking of dresses, so I'll show you. So this is another area that I am kind of just putting a pause on indefinitely, which is clothing and apparel as a whole. Anything to do with, yeah, clothing, apparel, bags, accessories, like anything that you adorn your person with when you walk out the door. I feel like I have more than enough items in my wardrobe to sustain me through several iterations of each season. And although they might not be the latest designs, um, they might be things that I've worn 100 times before. The fact still remains that I have a lot more clothes than the average person does in her closet. And at this point in my life, I feel like it is just not a priority for me to buy new clothes. So with that said, I am going to introduce to you the one new item that I bought like within the past month pretty much. And it's a good one. So I can't try it on for you in this live, but maybe I'll wear this tomorrow or sometime this weekend. I will put up a short when I wear it, but it is this cute little like pencil dress by Mary Quaint. I don't know if you guys know the brand Mary Quaint. I feel like I don't know which one came first, the makeup or the clothing line, but they have both. And it's quite an old school brand in Japan. But I just thought it was really cute and suitable for summer, and I can wear it to the office, but it's also cute enough to wear out on a date or something. And it's long, but it's like kind of it's shaped in a way that it emphasizes your silhouette, and there's also like piping at the bottom. So I will put up a short later if I actually wear this. But the reason I got this is that I had a good reason, you guys. Okay, so this was originally 15,000 yen, if you can see that. Yeah, about 15,000 yen. So I have been watching it for weeks, right? On ZozoTown, which is like this huge fashion online shop that you can shop from here in Japan. And it was at 10,000 yen for like several weeks. But then a couple days ago, I had this special extra 2,000 yen coupon. delivered to my inbox, which takes the 10,000 yen down to 8,000 yen, right? So I'm thinking like I'm starting to, cave more and more at this point. Like maybe I should just grab this dress. And it's telling me that there's only 3 left. So I'm like watching it like a hawk every day. And then the good thing about ZozoTown is that they have this feature where if you bought other clothing items new, because they have like a used section as well, but if you bought new items from ZozoTown, it can be across different brands. But if they are relatively new, like within the last few seasons, typically what you can do is that when you buy a new piece of clothing, you can trade in your old clothes as credit towards that new piece of clothing, right? So that's what I did. I had like 2 dresses and 1 skirt that I was just not really feeling anymore. I had already worn them. I even got my pictures in them, and they're still cute, but I just feel like I don't see myself wearing them again in the future because I'm already moving on to and I'm interested in new designs such as this one. So I decided to just apply all of those older pieces of clothing to my order. And then what they do is they'll send you a bag to put your old pieces of clothing in. Obviously, they have to be in decent condition, right? They can't be like completely tattered and torn to shreds. But as long as they're decent and they have all the accessories connected to it, like all the buttons and stuff are intact, you can send them back. And they tell you like exactly how much credit each item of clothing can be counted towards your new purchase. So I think like both dresses were over 2,000 yen, and then the skirt was like 800 yen or something, which I think is pretty good because I already got my wear out of those clothing items. And if I don't send them in, they would likely just sit in my closet and I wouldn't feel inclined to reach for them, as cute as they are, because I already wore them. So in the end, I was able to bring the total for this dress down to 2,600 yen, which is about just over $20 USD, which I think is pretty good considering that this was like over $100 retail for the original price. And yeah, this is the back. I like the little clasp thing in the back, and I like the fact that I can wear it to work or other occasions like outings with friends and dates and stuff. So this was a good purchase for me, I think. Like this was a fashion purchase that made sense, and it's something that I sat on for weeks and weeks. So this was not an impulse purchase. Anything aside from this, and I might even be bold and go out on a limb here and say just any clothing items period for the foreseeable future. I feel like it's just not necessary because I don't there's nothing that I need, okay? Unless it's a very specific item of clothing that I absolutely need, like I don't know, this would not happen, but if my work mandated that I had hunter if my work required me to wear hunter rain boots in on certain days when it was raining. I'm only saying this because I saw one of my coworkers wear hunter rain boots the other day because it's been raining a lot, right? It's the rainy season right now in Japan or Tokyo, but yeah. So like if it was something specific like that, okay, but when do I need something specific? Pretty much never. And all the stuff that I do need even for the rest of summer, and what comes after summer, is that fall? Yeah, summer, fall, and then winter, right? I think that's the order. I have fall clothes, I have winter clothes. I have several different winter coats actually. Um, some of them are from legitimate brands, some of them, a lot of them are from Shein. Um, but it doesn't matter, right? Because as long as I keep my body healthy and fit, my body is the outfit, you know? That's one of the privileges that comes with having a nice body or keeping yourself trim and fit is that you can wear Shein and it looks good on you because you have the correct silhouette. So, yeah, what am I getting at here? I'm getting at the fact that there's absolutely no need for me to buy new clothes or accessories. Probably for the rest of the year, but I'm not gonna like put a time limit on myself. It's just what I feel in the moment, right? And this is a big thing for me to say because I've always considered myself a huge like fashionista, and I've always found myself. See, this is another problem though. Like I find myself scrolling on Shein and other fashion websites whenever I am trying to procrastinate, to be honest. And that's also like that. So the shopping thing that tells me that I shop more so to procrastinate rather than to satisfy an actual desire or an actual need for new clothes, right? Like, yeah, of course, it's fun to always keep up with the new styles and look through what else is available. But if I were to tell the honest truth to myself, though, I have everything that I need right now in my wardrobe, which, like, it's kind of a mess right now, but like I have my own style that I prefer, right? And obviously, I'm not opposed to taking in a new trend every once in a while, but as far as my core style, it's pretty much set in stone. And I've had the same style pretty much since I was in high school. I like fitted clothes, classic silhouettes, clean lines, you know. When in doubt, I always go to that, especially if you're working on a budget. I feel like your best bet is just to go with more classic looking silhouettes and pieces. Or like even if you want to be a little more edgy, it still has to be something that is versatile. This is just, I'm not trying to impose anything on you. If you have enough expendable cash or disposable income to buy the newest season of whatever designer label of your choice, then you can have a ball with that. But I'm talking about the rest of us that have to live with this inflation every year. Like, you have to be prudent, okay, with your choices. So even though I love fashion and I'm a fashionista and everything, I have to consider my purchases. Like, do I want to buy that super avant-garde looking roughly dress that, yes, it looks bomb and it would maybe look great at, I don't know, the Met Gala or something, but what are the chances that I'm actually going to go to the Met Gala? And even if I had the chance to go to a Met Gala like event, it would probably only be once or twice, right? Which means that after that event is done, then the utility of that dress is also done. So for me, practicality wise, what would make more sense would be a really cute, like, fitted sweater dress, such as this. Okay, this is something that I can wear every week, like all the time, even on the weekends, to wear. It's classic enough to withstand different seasons and withstand the test of time, but it's also like stylish enough, or if it's my own personal style enough to where I'm not going to get sick of it, if you know what I mean. So that's the mindset that I'm approaching fashion with at this moment in life. Okay, if I win the lottery tomorrow and I become a billionaire, then I'll let you know. I will update you on my shopping situation. But as of now, I feel like, okay, there are more pressing goals at hand, like, paying off certain credit card debts. Not a lot, but I have some credit card debt from the past 7 months of being unemployed. I have the money. It's just that I have money in different accounts. Like, the bulk of my money is not in Japan, like my retirement, my what's it called, Roth IRA and things like that are in American accounts. And obviously I'm not gonna, first of all, I'm not gonna withdraw from my retirement account, but even like my Bank of America account that's filled with US dollars, I never wanted to make it a habit to withdraw from that as long as I was working or had a way to earn money here in Tokyo, because that's supposed to be like my backup, So it's not a good feeling to have to dip into that because of what happened for the past 7 months. But yeah, the point is that I'm trying to like build a new financial savings strategy, right? We're trying to embark on a journey towards financial independence, which is very important because financial independence essentially means freedom to do what you want, freedom of time, and not having to work like a 9 to 5, essentially, right? I don't mind working if it's making videos, content creation, if it has to do with my passion, or even like making candles. Who knows? Maybe I will experiment a little bit in the coming months with this new hobby. But yeah, I had to let go of the pride, basically, of like, because I realized that, see, pride is such a killer. It will literally make you poor if you don't keep it in check. Okay, because again, if I'm being radically honest, why do I keep myself on the treadmill? Like, up until now, why am I so comfortable, or why am I just so unable to break out of the pattern of putting in an order for a new bunch of clothes every few weeks? Is it really because I just love every single new style that I come into contact with and I need to have that item of clothing in my closet? Or is it more of a deeper psychological thing to where I feel like I have to do this to maintain my quote unquote fashionista status, right? Like, how about I just how about I just imbue myself with the confidence? Um, how about I just assume the identity of somebody that is fashionable, period, right? Like that is not up for a question. So what does me being a fashionable person, or me being interested in fashion, me having a style that people compliment, what does that have to do with me consuming more items though? You know what I mean? Like I had to cut that toxic connection of I need to keep buying the newest designs and I need to put together like new outfits so that I can get new validation from the outside essentially. No, that's not what I actually need. Okay, I need to focus on me. I need to do things that are good for my future, such as being more responsible with money. How about we don't throw away $100 to $200 to subpar, um, hit or miss Shein clothes, Shein orders every 2 weeks? Like that's how bad it was at one point. Not in this past year, but I remember like when Shein first blew up in Japan, I was literally ordering probably once every week and a half on average. And it would be at least $80 for each order because they give you more of a discount the more that you order. So looking back, that was crazy. Like what did I do all that for? I ended up throwing away 80% of those clothes because it what I got was different from what was advertised in the image, right? So, since then, because I ordered so much from Shein, I developed the sense of being able to tell whether an item of clothing was actually going to look decent the way it looked in the advertising photo. I got this sixth sense where I could tell, okay, this one's actually going to be decent, or this one is going to completely not look as good, not look even 10% as good as how they were able to make it look on the model on their website. Which again, like I thought that was a good thing that, okay, so I can tell which clothes on Shein are going to look good. But then um, turns out at the end of the day, who is the loser? Me, because I'm the one spending all this extra money. Like I'm giving all my money to this huge corporation, Shein, when I could have just stuck with the clothes that I already had in my closet that I know for a fact look good on me. And it's not like we're not talking about 5 or 10 outfits here. We're talking about like hundreds of pieces of clothing that I still have, even after clearing out so many countless bags of clothes. I lost count, but I threw out so many clothes and I still have like hundreds of outfits that I can put together. Okay. I don't need any more clothes. I don't need to buy new designs to prove to anyone that I'm fashionable. I am, because that's just my identity, period. It has nothing to do with my consumer habits. And also, if people don't like my fashion, or if at some point, like maybe at some point, people from the younger generation are going to be like, your fashion is dated no matter what you do because you're a millennial. And there are people that think like that. And I'm not going to be able to change their mind. So, like, what's the point? Prioritize yourself. Okay. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Hey, beautiful. I love your channel and these lives. Hi, videos. Thank you so much for coming. I love having you here. So, yeah, that's my kind of wake up call when it comes to this whole issue of keeping up with the Joneses. It's keeping you broke. Okay. It's keeping me broke, or it was keeping me at the paycheck to paycheck living condition, which is insane. Because again, like I realized after starting this new job, most of it is subconscious. That's the scary part. Like you think that, oh, but I'm so sure of myself, I'm not easily swayed. That's not true. Okay. They call it stealth marketing for a reason. Like that stuff gets in your brain, in your subconscious, and you don't think that advertisers have caught on by this point on how to market things to you in a way to where you don't feel like you're being marketed? Like that's the whole game now. It's not like when we think of marketing, it's not like that obvious, classic example of, okay, you drive your car past a huge billboard that tells you to buy more shoots. Obviously, no one's going to listen to that, but that's not how actual advertisements work these days. There's like algorithms upon algorithms working against your interests. They're tracking every movement that you make and all of your even like all of the things that you bought in the past, including things that you actually needed for your life, your livelihood, or your daily activities, they use that against you to suggest things to you, like in the sidebar of your browser. And before you know it, like you're shown the image of that random t-shirt that you never would have given a second thought to so many times, to the point where it's embedded in your subconscious now. It's largely involuntary on your part. And before you know it, you're buying that t-shirt and you're not exactly sure why. Even after you get the t-shirt, even after you wear it and you think that, okay, yeah, this so I'm trendy now, right? Like I'm one of the cool kids now, right? And people, maybe like other people see you with that t-shirt and they're like, "Hey, wow, you got your hands on that? That sold out at the Uniqlo or wherever where I live. Everyone wants that t-shirt." But then at the end of the day, you go home and you're like, "Wait a minute. I'm out $100 every few weeks for all this fast fashion that I wear a few times, like 2 or 3 times tops." This is what happens a lot to me too. I'll buy things and I'll wear them like literally 2 or 3 times and then I get sick of it. I realize that it actually is not as fitted, or it just doesn't look as good as I thought it did in the store. And it just becomes too much to manage. It becomes like more of a burden to manage in my closet than it is to just throw it out. But then at the end of the day, it's like I'm still losing because I'm throwing out money essentially. So yeah, don't keep up with the Joneses. Just pay attention to like what are the things that naturally bring you joy that you would buy anyway without outside influence. So for me, right now, because you always want to take account of what am I naturally gravitating towards in this moment, right? Because you can change also. Your tastes change from moment to moment, from season to season. Right now, for me, I like to treat myself to a nice candle, whether it's a fancy one from some actual, handmade artisan candle company, or whether it's a 100 yen one from Daiso. It brings the same value, it brings the same sense of calm and tranquility into my life. I like to buy notebooks because I like to take notes. I like to write things down. I feel like I retain information better that way. And also, um, when it comes to like inner work or just, I don't know, Shiro 7 videos, like manifestation, positive mindset, things like that, I like to, again, write it down because I feel like it does something. It's like a solidifying of your intention when you put the pen to paper and that you can see the ink actually like dragging across the paper. It's a very like visceral sensation for me. So that's important. That's obviously like important to my spiritual growth as a person. So I'm not going to skimp out when it comes to buying notebooks, right? Or even pens, stationery, anything that has to do with like my manifestation journaling processes. Clothing, I think I can honestly say, so, we'll see next time the next item of temptation comes across my path. But for now, I can honestly say that I'm very content with this purchase, not only because the design and the quality and everything is exactly up to par for me, but the fact that I got this at such a deep discount because of the coupon, the 2,000 yen coupon, combined with the fact that I traded in some of my older clothes that I don't wear anymore, that feels really, really good because I'm like getting all these different benefits at once. I get a new piece of clothing and I get to like clean out my closet just a little bit more because I'm I'm only bringing in one new piece of clothing, but I'm getting rid of three at the same time. And I'm also having the credits from those three older pieces of clothing applied to this new piece of clothing. So that feels really, really good to me. And I think I'm good. Like I need to put a pause on the clothing and stuff for the time being. Aside from that, what do I normally spend money on? I spend money on hair maintenance. I like to spend money on my nails because these are things that, again, these are permanent fixtures in my outfit every day, right? Like I could literally, if I had to, I could wear a literal plain black t-shirt and like gray slacks every day if I'm just going to work, right? And that would suffice for the dress code at my work. But as far as things that require like continuous purchasing or continuous maintenance, that would be things like my makeup and my hair and my nails. But as far as the clothes, I mean, who cares? Like, there's a reason that they artificially create new trends 6 times a year, I think. Or no, I think it's like every 6 weeks is a new fashion cycle. I should know this because technically I'm in the luxury fashion business, so I should know this. But anyway, like I said, I'm in the IT department, so whatever. I'll let those people in the design department worry and pull their hair out about keeping up with the latest season, like, oh my God, my jacket is so last season, I have to replace it, and be all stressed out trying to allocate a huge chunk of their income just to keep up like physical appearances. Like, I'm good, okay? I know what my style is. I have plenty of options already in my existing wardrobe, and it's just not top priority for now. So anyway, I have stayed on far longer than I originally planned to. It's 1:30 a.m. I really need to get some sleep. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.